Hi everyone. This is Dr. Victoria Nalule. I'm the Chief Executive Officer of Nalule Energy and Mining Consultants, that is NIM Energy, an international consulting firm dealing in energy, climate change, energy transitions, mining, and the oil and gas sector. So we are continuing with our series of webinars and videos focused on energy and mining. And in today's video, I want to talk about the Energy Charter Treaty. So the Energy Charter Treaty is one of the unique multilateral agreements that covers investments in the energy sector. It was signed in 1994 and it entered into legal force in April 1998. So the treaty has been in existence for quite some time. And initially, it was really an initiative for the European countries and how they were cooperating with other countries like Russia and the Soviet Union with respect to oil imports and oil exports. So the treaty was signed at a time where oil and gas was really playing a crucial role in the economic development of different countries. And it went through the modernization phase from 2015. And luckily, I happened to be in Brussels as one of the research fellows during the modernization and expansion of the Energy Charter Treaty to different countries beyond Europe. But in recent years, the treaty has been under lots of scrutiny on the basis that it does not comply with the climate change goals or it does not align with the principles of sustainability, especially the environmental principle or other goals to transition to a low carbon economy. But we're having a discussion today with some of the people I was training, and the question I asked is the scrutiny a political move, or it's really based on the issues of sustainability? Because recently we're seeing many countries deserting the Energy Charter Treaty or leaving the Energy Charter Treaty. And the main reason that they cite is that the treaty protects investments in fossil fuels, which is true. But let's ask ourselves, is it the only treaty or is it the only legal instrument that protects investments in fossil fuels? And the answer to that is no, it's not the only legal instrument. First, for any energy project to take place, or even for fossil fuel projects to take place, there should be a contract. There should be an oil and gas contract. It can be like a petroleum sharing agreement, it can be a concession, or even joint ventures. And the clauses in those agreements have to be respected. Failure to respect them, either party can bring a dispute before international arbitration. So whether a country is a member state of the Energy Charter Treaty or not, as long as you have legal instruments in your country that protect investments, any kind of investment, not only oil and gas, failure to comply with the legal instruments would lead to breach of contract, and hence you have to be sued or taken to arbitration. Now, moving forward, let me just share like 2 slides. So moving forward, we are seeing many EU states, one by one, deserting the Energy Charter Treaty. And the question we're always asking is, why is this? Is it really a political issue, or is it something that is happening because they need to protect the environment? They need to stop funding for fossil fuels. And in this regard, we can ask ourselves, does the treaty comply with the principles of sustainability. So let me just take you back. What are the main principles of sustainability or the main pillars of sustainability? We have the economy as a pillar, society, and then environmental. So for any legal framework to be effective, it has to take into consideration the three main pillars of sustainability: the economic pillar, society, that is the people, and then environmental protection. So according to the recent data, Investigate Europe calculated in 2021 that the Energy Charter Treaty protects at least 344.6 billion euros worth of fossil fuel infrastructure. And if this is the case, what about the other treaties that have been signed under WTO, even the other investment agreements? Don't they protect investments? And if countries really are leaving the treaty because they feel it doesn't comply with the principles of sustainability, now like German, a German company, a German energy company by the names of RWE recently used the charter to sue the Netherlands for 1.4 billion euros because the country brought forward its coal phase out. So we're saying this is not really about environmental protection. It's about the damages that countries are likely to pay because of breach of a contract or breach of the provisions of the agreement. If you look at the Energy Charter Treaty, Part 3 talks about environmental protection. And if you look at Article 10 and the various articles in Part 3 of the treaty, they focus on investment protection, protection of investors. And if you look at the national laws for any country, and you look at the investment acts, they have like similar provisions, protection of investment. And investment acts, just like the Energy Charter Treaty, are intended to promote investments, in this case in the energy sector, and also protect those investments. So if right now in 2022, countries are deserting the Energy Charter Treaty, saying that it does not comply with the energy transition goals, we have to be realistic and ask ourselves, is that the real reason you are deserting the treaty? Or it's because you've been asked to pay damages for breach of contract or even breach of agreement? Let's just be real, because in 2022, countries, one by one, like Italy left first, Spain, the Netherlands, Poland, and France have also indicated their intentions to leave. But if we look at these countries and their energy mix and what has been happening in recent years in 2022, how far have they gone to reduce investments in fossil fuels? In Europe right now, even in the UK, because of the global energy crisis, the geopolitics, the war between Russia and Ukraine, we have seen many countries going through the backward energy transition, whereby in 2022 right now, they're investing more in oil and gas. We're seeing what is happening in the UK, the new oil and gas licensing rounds that have been opened up. The UK has gone ahead to import coal from other countries. Germany has gone ahead to open new coal plants in their countries. And these are the similar countries that have been criticizing the Energy Charter Treaty, that it doesn't comply with the principles of sustainability, especially the environmental pillar. So when exactly are countries ready to comply with the principles of sustainability? When exactly are the countries ready to tackle climate change? Is it when it's favorable for them to say that, oh, now we need to end investments in fossil fuels, or we need to phase out the fossil fuel projects, and we don't want to pay damages? So we are going to cite that the particular treaty we signed was not effective, or it doesn't comply with the principles of sustainability. But when the same country is in need of the same energy resources that they consider to be unsustainable, they will rush to import those resources from other countries. They will invest more in fossil fuels, oil and gas. They will open new coal plants. Isn't this hypocrisy? Isn't it hypocrisy? And now let's look at the contractual provisions in some of the oil and gas agreements in different countries, especially in the global south. Most of them have a provision on stabilization clauses. And if you look at the impact of the stabilization clauses, it's the same as what we are seeing, the effect the Energy Charter Treaty is having on investments. I've done several videos on stabilization clauses, and I've also written about stabilization clauses. But what I want you to ask yourselves, because I don't want to give the answers, aren't the stabilization clauses having the same impact as the Energy Charter Treaty? So why are we seeing lots of scrutiny against the Energy Charter Treaty, but we haven't seen countries or even activists coming up to say that stabilization clauses do not align with the energy transition policies, or they do not align with the climate change goals? These are both legal instruments. One is included in the contracts. Stabilization clauses can be found in oil and gas contracts or mining contracts, or they can even be found in the laws themselves. The treaty itself, it's a treaty, an investment treaty. So does this mean that any treaty that protects any kind of investments is unsustainable when the country feels like they don't want to pay damages for breach of the agreement, breach of contract? So let us be really very careful on how we're taking the news, and also be analytical, because in 2022, we are seeing countries are rushing to invest in fossil fuels. So when exactly do you consider fossil fuels unsustainable? And when exactly do you consider agreements like, or treaties like the Energy Charter Treaty unsustainable? Is it when you feel you no longer need fossil fuels that you're like, okay, we don't need investments in these resources, so we can treat the investors the way we feel like treating them? And then when you are in an energy crisis, you run back to the same investors, or come invest more in these resources. So I'll not discuss more about this, but just moving forward, I would like you, my viewers, to just think about this and ask yourselves, are the treaties in new countries, are the investment laws, are the provisions in the various contracts you're signing, are they sustainable or not? Even for the recent laws we are enacting, because we see the Energy Charter Treaty was enacted in 1994. It came into force in 1998, but now we're in 2022, and it's under a lot of scrutiny because it's suggested that it doesn't comply with the principles of sustainability, especially the environmental principle. So when exactly do we need to strike this balance? And when exactly do we need to understand whether a treaty is effective or whether it's not effective? So that's it for today. Thank you very much. Do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. And for consultancies, research, capacity building, training, tailored research in energy, mining, oil and gas, climate change, renewables, get in touch with Dr. Victoria Nalule, and our team at NEM Energy will be able to work with you. So that marks the end of this video. But in summary, let's be careful with the treaties we're signing, and also let's be careful with the contracts we are negotiating or signing. Otherwise, our countries will end up paying lots of damages for breach of these agreements or breach of these contracts. And yet, in actual sense, right now, we have a way to really negotiate and include provisions that are not detrimental to the stakeholders involved or concerned. So that's it. Thank you very much. Do not forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Bye-bye.